Hi, welcome back to Telesports. It's been about 2 weeks, and we've decided we've come back on for this evening. If you're joining us, just like to welcome you from wherever you are. We hope you are safe and you are well. Um, we thought we will come come to you this evening with a special guest, Gerswin Mouton, who is an up and coming talented rugby player from Namibia, and we are super excited to have him on our platform. And what we at the moment what we're busy doing is we thought we'll come on and we'll just wait and we'll bring him in as soon as our platform is ready to go. So for those of you that are waiting, we'd like to say thank you for joining us. I think we will bring in Gerswin now. I think he's ready to go. So thanks, everyone. Just hold tight, and we will bring him in shortly. Here we go. Good evening, Gershwin. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good at yourself. Can I talk Afrikaans or must I talk English?
English, because
Oh,
obviously,
English.
yeah, there's a few people also over in the UK watching or on Isle of Man.
Okay.
So yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good at yourself, man. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just glad that we've managed to sort out the StreamYard. Yes, sometimes we pick up a bit of technical issues, but as we
Uh,
always are, we're just flexible. Man, we've been super excited as always. Thanks for joining us on our platform, Gershwin, and I'm
yeah, no
sure
problem.
there's so many people that would love to hear your story. You
Yeah,
are
I'm
an
excited as well.
exciting talent of Namibia, flying the flag for Namibia over in South Africa. Gershwin, I just wanted to ask. Obviously, there's so many questions that we normally,
Yeah,
we want to ask, but the platform is yours, and I just wanted to ask first of all, could you just introduce yourself and just tell people, where you were born, where you're from, where you grew up, if you don't mind.
yeah, no problem. So my name is Gerswin, surname is Mouton. I was born in Walvis Bay, Namibia, but I grew up in Rehoboth. Now, for the people that don't know, it's a small town, just 80 kilometers away from Windhoek.
Right.
Yeah, so I grew up in Rehoboth. I have two brothers, older brother and a younger brother. Yeah, I went my school, primary school I was in Rehoboth, and high school I went to Windhoek. So that's
Okay.
cool.
So you're the middle brother.
Yeah, I'm the
Um,
middle child.
I bet that must have been an interesting, uh, an interesting way of growing up, being the middle child. Like I've obviously we've three brothers as well. I'm the oldest. Daryl is the middle, and Sergio is the youngest. And it's either I don't know. I connect better with Sergio sometimes. Is that? Do you find that
Uh,
you connect? Are you because you're in the middle? Which one do you connect better with of your
I connect
siblings?
better with my older brother because like we are just 3 years apart, so
Okay.
we're more or less on the same level. So I connect better with him. My younger brother is we're 6 years apart, so yeah, I connect a little better with my older
Okay.
brother
So there's a big
because we
gap.
understand each other.
I see.
Yeah, there's a big gap.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Growing up, I take it. You guys played different sports. I was going to ask you, um, your choice, obviously taking up rugby. Did you play any other activities when you were growing up?
yeah, I used to be a soccer player as well.
You
Uh,
used to play football.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, soccer for football. My whole primary school, I used
Uh-huh.
to play, but when I got to high school, the school I went to, there was no soccer, so I chose rugby,
You
and
chose
that's when
rugby,
I
and do you
started
think
up there.
do you think that's a good decision that you've made?
Yeah, I believe it's a good decision. I made.
Well,
I
we
enjoy it
certainly
more anyway.
That's fantastic. We certainly
Yeah,
very very happy as well because I think you're a fantastic footballer and a rugby player. Yeah, all right. It looks like you've got great balance. From I'm sure people have watched your highlights, and if you haven't,
yeah, thank you.
please go and check out these highlights. Everyone that's watching, and share it. Please share it. He's phenomenal. He's an athlete, as you can see. He's an athlete. He's got great character, and that's why we would like to for Gerswin to tell his story tonight. So for those of you that are just joining, welcome tonight, and hopefully you will maybe learn a thing or two. So the next thing I was going to ask you, rugby wise, at what age, Gerswin, did you realize or thought this is what I love doing this, and this is what I'm going to pursue? At what age did that start for you?
Yeah, like since I can remember, I used to play rugby. It runs in the family. My father used to play as a rugby as well.
Hmm.
He was also played for Namibia. My father, his brothers, everyone. So I basically grew up in a rugby household. So since I can remember, I've played rugby. But I only started to realize once I've gone to high school,
Hmm.
started playing. Once I've gone to high school, yeah, that's when I actually started to realize that this is actually what I want to do as a
Hmm.
career. So yeah,
So
it
high school.
was.
So your high school career. You started off. You were going to school in Rehoboth High School,
Yeah,
and then
I was
you
grade 8. I was
grade eight, and
in
then
Rio, yeah.
you made
Grade,
a move to Windhoek. I take it.
yeah,
Um, tell
grade
us tell
9,
us a
yeah.
little bit.
With Rio.
Tell us what was that like? Like you all your friends. You grew up with your friends, and you've got to suddenly in the back of your mind you've got other plans. Obviously you want to take it further, so now you've got to make a decision. What was that like for you as
Yeah,
a
always.
youngster? Hmm.
It was stuff like going away from home, having to stay in the hostel and stuff like that. Not knowing the people around you, having to make new friends. It's always a challenge, but it's sacrifices one has to make in order to get there where you want to be. So, but it was quite
Hmm.
fun for me, meeting new people, getting to know new people. It also played a big role in my development as growing up as a
Hmm.
rugby player and stuff. So, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun for
That's
me.
fantastic.
And,
That's brilliant to hear that you mentioning that you've realized also that's played a big role in your personal development, because sometimes as rugby players or as people we don't always focus on us as a person, but more of the rugby.
yeah,
But then in the meantime you're actually improving as a person, so that's a great point
yeah, that's
that
true.
you're mentioning that.
Uh,
um Man, I was just like I said, I'm full of questions, and I hope you don't mind, right? But
nah, it's okay.
I'm sure people who's listening, people who've not seen you back home for or a while. Do you mind if you don't mind? How long ago were you in Namibia? How long ago were you
It's
in Namibia?
been since the 6th of January, so it's almost
Okay.
been a
Wow.
year now. It's
So
been
all the
tough, yeah.
family back home,
Everyone
you're
is
missing
back home.
family, friends. They've not seen you at all, so because you in South Africa,
Not at
obviously.
all. Yeah, I'm in South Africa.
Mm. And how are
Yeah.
you coping with that side of mentally? How do you cope? So for all the youngsters out there, anyone younger aspiring, they wanna leave home and play, obviously maybe professional rugby, and take the type of pathway what you've taken. What type of things do you reckon they'll experience? Just if you don't mind explaining from your side, what type of things have you
Oh, in
experienced since
the
you've been away?
in the beginning when I first got here, it was tough for me. It was difficult because I didn't know anyone. I was on my own, a new country, new challenges, everything. So, but as soon as you start getting into the system, getting to know people, things started getting easier. And because you're in a professional setup, you're busy all the time, so you don't think about home that much. But like for now, it's been almost a year. Now it's starting to get to me like I really start missing home. So, but
True, true, true.
that's things I have, but there's things you have to deal with, man. So,
So
uh,
I know we're gonna touch. We might bounce around a bit, but so at school, the journey, obviously, you were born in Walvis Bay, you grew up in Rebot, you went from Rebot to Windhoek, and you had to board, obviously being in a hostel. So, do you think that
Yeah,
set you up? That have set you
yeah.
up
I think
for what was to come by leaving
yeah.
Namibia?
It's just yeah. I just wanted to add that like me
Uh-huh.
going to Windhoek, also being away from the family, that also like I've grown from that. It also helped me, to come to South Africa. So I
Mm.
knew what to expect and everything. So I was ready for it. So that also helped me.
So sometimes when it happens, it's tough, isn't it? Like sometimes you don't understand
Yeah,
why do I have to do this? Do you know what I mean? Wow,
all the
it's
time, all the time.
it's crazy. It's crazy because I can relate. I used to. I know we've had a chat yesterday briefly about connecting and I can relate to that feeling of
Yeah,
constantly having to leave. Like you end
yeah.
up
It's not a
leaving
good, it's
family
not a
and
nice
friends
feeling.
behind.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy one how when you reflect back, how it shapes you and changes you. So I mean, I was dropped off in Bloemfontein by my parents in 2001.
yeah.
Senior,
So
you
you,
know what I mean?
so you know what it's
It
like.
was a tough one. It was a tough one. It was
Uh,
you don't know anyone, same thing, and I just had to keep my head down and just keep working hard. And eventually, I
uh,
truly feel, when you do what you're doing, I take it you've had a good support system. Your parents, you coming from a rugby family,
yeah, I
your
did.
dad playing for Namibia. What's that like? What was that like? Your dad playing for Namibia growing up. What was that like?
That was always exciting. If he goes away to the World Cup and stuff like that, you're always
Uh,
excited to see what he brings you back. And as a little kid and stuff.
of
But it was
course.
fun though, having someone to look up to.
Uh, uh,
Saying now that's who I want to be when I grow up. So he was a good role model for me, and it's
that's
something
fantastic.
I'll always be grateful for. So
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. And for everyone out there listening, sometimes it's good to have role models, and it's good to hear that you're talking
yeah,
of your dad as your role model. I bet they must be so proud, like of what you've done up till now. Um, I was saying as well, like I'm just blown away by how the school rugby in Namibia has just exploded. Like
yeah,
I'm sitting here over in the UK and I'm watching the games on live streamed. You know what I mean? Like drones and everything.
yeah,
I'm like, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing stuff. And I think the boys get more exposure nowadays, than back
yeah.
when
That's
I was
true.
playing school rugby. So when you were at in Windhoek, when did that decision came through of right? I'm going to South Africa, and one of the biggest franchises, in South African rugby. Like that must not be an easy place to go to. What was that? How did that
Yeah.
come about? Hmm.
Well, obviously, if I wanted to make it, I knew I had to leave the country because it was going to be difficult to stay in Zimbabwe because we're not as advanced as South Africans. So I knew if I wanted to make it, I would have to go to another country or so. And my coach, I don't know if you Johan Simon, he
Hmm.
was my first team coach in school. He was the one that
Okay.
actually he knew people there, so he was the one that introduced me to them and stuff. And on the Craven Week, when we went to play Craven Week,
Ah,
they saw me there as well, and so we negotiated everything for me. And from there on, things started happening.
that's I was gonna ask, like your next step, obviously, before you went South Africa, was representing Namibia at school level. I
Yeah,
remember, playing Craven Week. My our Crane Week was in Port Elizabeth, and it was exciting because that's the Craven Week. That's a big thing.
yeah.
And I take it where what was your Craven Week experience like?
We played my first year. We played in I think it was in Durban. Our first grade under 17. So our first year grade was in Durban. There was interesting. I was on a bench for that tour because I wasn't in my age group, so it was quite interesting, just to see the rugby is on another level, like the intensity, the physicality,
Mhm.
all that stuff. It was a good experience. And my second year, we went to Joburg. It's where my second Craven tour was. Obviously, now being a senior, it was
Uh-huh.
much I knew what to expect. I was more mature and stuff, so it
Mm-hmm.
was quite interesting for me. It was a good learning curve for me as well
Right.
to know
So
what to expect if I
which one do you from memory? Which one do you feel that you've actually enjoyed more?
the one in Joburg, my second year.
The
The
one
one
the
in
one in
Joburg.
Johannesburg, right?
Yeah, I
Right.
was in
I've
Joburg.
because sometimes like some people only get the opportunity once. But if you get it twice,
Yeah.
what would you do
I
differently?
was
That's
lucky enough. I was lucky enough to. Uh,
that's fantastic, man. Thanks for sharing that. That bit of representing Namibia twice. At a Cream Week at that level, because not sometimes you get people developing. They might miss out the first year when they a year younger, um, or they end up
uh,
playing a year younger and then not making it the second year where they were supposed to.
uh,
And one of those things where it's all about obviously your development, but I think that's a good thing to push and see if you can play 2 years, which is absolutely fantastic. And the exposure nowadays on the Craven Week as well,
yeah,
it's at
it's
such a
amazing.
high level, such a high level.
Uh,
So I've just wondered that if you haven't played Craven Week, do you think you would have ended up where you ended up now, if I may ask you? Because some guys might not make
I'm
Craven Week, and they're
I'm
playing
not
maybe. Sorry, go on.
I'm not too sure, but I think I would have because the coach, my first team coach, he started chatting to the guy at the Bulls. It was Sander at that time. He started chatting with Sander. I was in grade 11, I think, when he started chatting with him. So, but I think I would
Okay,
have still ended up in South Africa nonetheless because we had our rap school, my matric year. We taught to we taught to South Africa as well, so I got good exposure there as well.
right. And
So
is that
I mean,
because
the
of the?
opportunities,
Uh-huh. I was going to ask you, is that
opportunities
because
can.
of the school? Oh, sorry, sorry. It keeps getting.
Yeah, so
Sorry, sorry. Okay, okay. I've just received some article about someone that's on the chat now. This one. It's an Olympian, G- Giselle Megaman. Do you know of her?
yeah, I actually I do.
She's on the
She's
chat now, and
my
is that right? Apologies if I've not pronounced that right. What is your main goal regarding rugby? So yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. We're getting messages, so many messages. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for sending us messages and your comments. It's absolutely fantastic for interacting with Gershwin and myself. The question she's got, Gershwin, is sorry to divert, but what is your main goal regarding rugby, and what do you want to achieve? What would be the cherry on the cake for you in your career? What do you have to say about that, if I may ask?
obviously my main goal is to make it to the highest level. To be one to be able to say, nah, I was there as well. To that's just to make it to the highest level, improve myself as a rugby player,
Hmm.
obviously. And what do you want to achieve? What I
Hmm.
want to achieve in rugby, that's to develop myself as a player.
Hmm.
Learning from as much coaches and as much players, getting as much knowledge as I possibly can. So yeah,
Fantastic,
that's what it is.
absolutely fantastic. That I like the fact that you're saying getting as much knowledge, because sometimes nowadays a lot of young guys are getting a lot of exposure quickly, and
uh,
sometimes you can hit a high point and it might feel like you're right, and if you stop learning, then that's a dangerous thing. But I like the fact that you're saying no, you just want to keep improving,
yeah.
and that shows.
I've learned
Mhm.
that's one thing I've learned since being here in South Africa. Like you're never
Mhm.
too experienced or you're never too good or to learn something. You can always
Yeah.
learn something from someone. Like always be open to new things, always to learn new things because that will only develop you and make you a better player as well.
Awesome, awesome. That was well said.
Mm.
We've obviously never met, but the way you're speaking, you you're just such a calm character, and
Yeah,
I I think people with great characters like that, from a coaching point of view, you can build a team around people like that. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
heads off, heads off. And I take it that that's probably part of your upbringing as well. With uh, growing up in a rugby house or sports house probably helps as well. Um,
yes,
and
it does.
it's just one of those things where I feel never stop learning, never stop learning.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear that you speak like that. The other thing I was gonna mention, is there two or three things that you would be able to touch on to give a bit of advice for anyone out there, especially youngsters that's still at school in Namibia? What would you do differently if you were still at school and fast forward to where you are now and where you've been? What would you, if you had to do that again? What would you do differently? What would be your focus?
Oh, I would would have listened to my mother when she told me to study harder. That's one thing I would have.
Right,
Yes,
right, right. Okay,
yeah, but other than that,
okay.
I think like for them to like to learn as much as they can because they're still young. Try to develop their skills, like just their basics. Like if
Mhm.
that's the most important thing, learning how to catch and pass. If you can do that, really good, like that, because that's the platform from where you can go. If you have that platform, you have those basics, you can learn from there on. So I just developing their skills, high
Um,
balls, kicking, all that stuff, the basics, to develop that as much as
no, no.
possible.
Here's an interesting thing. What you're touching on now, your aerial skills, from the highlights, your aerial skills are phenomenal. Aerial skills as in catching high balls,
Okay.
jumping, running a J line. For those of you that's not
Uh,
sure of a J line, it's not attacking the ball square on, but as the ball is traveling, you're coming in with an angle. So you look quite comfortable in the air, and you were a flyer at school, but then you go to South Africa and you end up obviously playing wing or out of position a bit. But how did you find that
uh,
transition? What was the experience there for you?
uh, it was a bit of a difficult to adjust, but I learned to deal with it. So like just trying to know what the wing's job is, trying to develop my skills, like after training sessions, always staying after training session, working on those basic skills, eyeballs, all those stuff, just knowing what your job is. So those are all things that build up to you becoming a good player. Yeah.
And I I'm just trying to think now. When I went to South Africa, I thought I was a scrum half. I played a bit of center, maybe fly off one or two times, but then I go to South Africa, and suddenly I'm a lot fitter, and
Yeah.
I'm I knew I was always quick because I used to do athletics, 100 meters and stuff like that. But when I went to Bloemfontein, they were like, "I think you'll be good on the wing." And I'm like, "No, I'm not a wing. I've never played wing. I'm not playing wing." And I was honestly, I was told, if you want to play for Free State, under 19s at the time, then you'll have to play wing. and I had to make a decision just like that. And that to me was a tough one. But if it wasn't for my mom and my dad, that was also that good support and told me, it will do you good one day. Just play wherever they wanted to play. And now I can
Yeah, like
reflect back. It really helped because of coaching now as well. So go on. You were gonna say?
uh,
Hmm.
I think that the thing is you must always be open. Like you don't ever narrow mind. Like I want to
Yeah.
play fly half. That's the only position I can play. Like for I also didn't thought like I was gonna play wing, but the coaches probably saw something in me that I didn't know about. So that's why they put me on wing, and I ended up enjoying it as well. So I must always be open to you know new challenges, not just
Mm.
having uh how can I say a narrow mind. Don't be narrow minded. Like always be
Tunnel
open.
vision. Mm.
You know,
Tunnel vision. Mm, mm,
uh,
mm.
always be
So,
open.
if 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 you have the opportunity to play fly off again, would it be easier if I can challenge you on that? Would that be an easier thing to do, or do you prefer? Do you know what I actually like? Wing. I might even play center or fullback. Or
Yeah,
would you be open to that?
like
Are you
I
that
don't
type
think it
of?
would be easier. I don't think it would be easier now because it's been a while since I've played there. Obviously, I would have to adjust again, adapt
Uh,
again. But I would really like the opportunity again, just to play there again, just for
just
fun,
to
like you know.
just to see
Yeah,
how you get
just
on.
to
Right. Right.
uh,
Right. Well, you know what, Gershwin, if I, who knows, if I end up maybe coaching you one day, man, you've got a great foot on you. I believe you can kick really well.
yeah, okay,
And you certainly having those attributes, why not? Why not? I like to explore now. My mindset is also now, I'm just so flexible and open. I'm open to anything. Do you
uh,
get me saying? Like find a way where there's no way, that type of thing, and I think it's the
yeah, so
attitude. Do you find that your attitude also changed towards having a type of mindset where you're embracing something that could have been negative?
yeah.
Do you find that your attitude has changed a lot?
Yeah, but like obviously attitude is important because like if you keep telling yourself like if changes happen and you keep having negative thoughts as well, that will bring you down. It will put you in a dark place. Like so, like
Mm,
always be try to see the good in a situation if you can. So don't always just be like having negative thoughts. That's gonna be good for you as a person as well because like always try to see the bright side of everything if you can.
right, right. So,
Yeah.
man, that's like it feels like I've been speaking to you so many times. I'm so comfortable talking to you. I don't know if you feel the same, but.
Yeah, I do.
I just hope you're having fun as well. I just wanted to quickly take a step back and once again just say to everyone who's watching online, thank you so much. I know we've not been on for the last 2 weeks, but I think it's time that we're gonna pick it up again. And wow, what an exciting young man, Gershon. We have. He's also, don't forget, he's represented Namibia at under 20 level as well. So, Gerswin, can you please tell us what was the under 20 trophy or the under 20 tournament for you? Like it was, I believe, in Romania. What was your,
Yeah, I was in
what from reflection? Can you run us through what you can remember on
yeah,
when you were selected, training, traveling, playing? What was it like for you?
it was an amazing experience. Firstly, the country, it's a beautiful place.
Mhm.
Like it's very different from us as well, like the culture, how people do things as well. But and then to come to the rugby side, oh, it was tough. We had to play 4 games in 2 weeks, so that was quite that was quite tough on the body as well. But other than that, it was an amazing experience. Just seeing the world, different places, getting to explore new cultures and all that. But
Mm.
I would say the highlight for me was of the whole tournament was playing against Samoa and getting to face the Haka. So yeah, that's always something I wanted to do. Experiencing a Haka live. That
Right.
was a good experience for me as well. That's something I always carry with me.
Oh, and who was that against that you faced the Haka?
It was Samoa. We were playing against Samoa.
I bet that was a physical game, eh?
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
against Mo.
it was a physical game.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
that's fantastic. You know that you. It's great memories, isn't it? Like when you go away and you
yeah,
representing your country. You know, you build good relationships with the people that you go with, and
yeah.
hopefully,
It's an honor.
um, yeah, hopefully you'll see more and more of those guys of your age group come through and represent Namibia at the World Cup. You know, the next World
Yeah,
Cup is in
hopefully,
2023. Um,
2003. Yes.
yeah, so I also believe that you love sevens, right? And I believe you've represented Namibia at
Yeah,
sevens as well.
yes, I did.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
what's your experience playing 15s and sevens? What do you like about the difference of the game? What stands out for you,
Obviously, there's a big difference as well. I mean, you have a lot of space to work with. That's something that I love about sevens.
right?
You have a lot of space as well. But there's that one downside about it. You can get exposed really quickly because in sevens, if you it's always a one-on-one battle. So
Right.
guys can you can get exposed real quick. But other than that, I just love the game, man. We have a lot of space. You know, you're free to do what you want to do. No, yeah, that's what I love about
So
the game.
do you find playing sevens has helped you as a 15s player perhaps? Do you find like
Yeah,
some
because
guys struggle with it? But mhm. What's your
obviously
thoughts on it?
there are skills that you can develop in sevens. It
Hmm.
is it's gonna come useful when you're playing 50 man. For example, like racking in sevens. No, no, learning how to steal a ball, stuff like
Mm.
that. There's things that they hammer about in sevens, like well, that's an important part of the
So
game. Yeah, knowing how to steal a
nowadays,
ball, because
uh
so
like
that's
like
also gonna be useful.
so as for instance as a wing now, you were playing wing in South Africa. Um, Back then wingers were just over there, wait for the ball, and then once in a while jump in the line and come back,
Yeah,
and. But now nowadays the wing is so much more involved. You can pop up anywhere,
involved.
and it's
Yeah,
like yeah. So I get what you're saying about the ruck situation. Like the way I play as well with where I'm coaching is my wingers are required to go and clear out. Do you know what I mean? Like on
yeah,
the blind wing, he needs to
have
get in
to.
the first ruck. When we play, so he needs to be involved. So it keeps them on their toes and also just sharpens it, I guess. But what would you say setbacks, Gershwin, if I may ask you and touch on this for a second? Um, we all deal with setbacks differently. What works for you
Yeah.
as a young player? You were away from Namibia, family, friends, loved ones. Setbacks like we get an injury or you've lost a game, or how do you all round? How do you deal with setbacks? Any tips that you could give everyone?
Oh, I think that's just a mental thing. Like if you're not strong mentally, then I don't think you will make it in rugby because I believe that it's more mentally than it is actually playing it. So if you're not strong up here mentally, then I don't think you won't make it. I
Mm,
just try whenever I face a setback, I just try not to push myself down too hard. I would just go back, work harder. What did I do wrong?
mm.
What was the problem? Work on that skills. Put in the work, and then hopefully things will get better.
So you've identified the mental aspect. It's
Yeah,
important to practice mental agility. Some people physically they work on the physical a lot, but not develop the,
but
the mental
my
side of things. Then that's a very, very, very good point you're making. And it's good that you've identified it at such an early age. Like it's always there, but sometimes we're in and out of it. But it's good that you've you mentioned that if people can take care of their mental side of sports is
yeah,
all about mentality wise actually.
it is.
And
Yeah.
s- I mean like I'm gonna touch in a second. I'm gonna ask you. You've gone over South Africa you've been with the Bulls for the last two under 21 for the last 2 years, and you were fortunate enough to be involved, winning both seasons, become champions. Like I was saying to
yeah,
you yesterday, I was at Free State. I played in the final at under 19 at Newlands. And we just lost. It was a tight game. We lost the game against Western Province, a curtain raiser for Free State Cheetahs and in Western Province Curry Cup semi-final. First half, it was quiet. Second half, we come out of the changing room and it's just people everywhere. Like I'm talking about. You know what Cape Town's like. Everyone is swearing at you
yeah,
close to the pitch. They even at your cat at home. They let you know what time it is. Do you know what I mean? It was such an experience.
yeah.
But then on the 21, we fell short. We lost against the Lions in Johannesburg. But then with your experience, you've gone all the way. You've experienced at top level under 21 level in South Africa to win, to be in a winning on a side for 2 years. Please tell us what did that do for you as a person, and what did that do for you as a rugby player? And what was it like just in general? The platform is yours. I'm not gonna jump in. You just everything that you want to talk about, that scenario, please go for it.
I will always say like winning a trophy, like that's the best feeling you can get, huh? Like your emotions are all over the place. Like it's an amazing feeling, and I'm just happy to be a part. I to say that I can be a part. I was a part of that team that won two under 21 Curry
Mm,
Cups 2 years in a row. So, and for me as a player, like since I've come here through the years, like it has developed me as a player as well, not just physically with my skills and everything, but also emotionally, like learning how to deal with your emotions and stuff like that, because those are stuff that you come that you face every day. Like it played a big role in developing me as a player and as a person as well. So, and it was just an amazing experience and just winning a trophy. Like there's no better feeling than that. Yeah,
because now, so Gershwin, people see photos maybe in the changing room or after the game, and they're like, "Wow, what was that? Looks so awesome!" Like what's the
uh,
feeling like? What were you thinking at that moment? Like, like what's the expression? What was it like? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was gonna also ask you,
um,
your first final was in Free State, right? Am I right if I am
yeah,
saying that?
we
Man,
played
that,
in
that
Bloem.
used to be my favorite ground. Like the stadium, Free State Stadium. But I was gonna ask you, which stadium is your favorite one? Where did you find? You know what? Every time I come here, I just love playing here.
I would say Newlands was it's my
Newlands.
favorite stadium.
Okay.
It's my favorite stadium to play at.
Why Newlands?
I said because the
Why
atmosphere, man,
why
it's just an
Newlands?
amazing thing. Like the seats where the audience usually sit are like almost next to
Mm.
the field. So like the atmosphere in the stadium, everything,
That's close.
it's just amazing. So that's why
Uh,
I love Newlands playing there. I would say Newlands is my favorite stadium to play at.
that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And now that Newlands, I believe Newlands is they're gonna demolish it. It's gonna be
Uh,
they're
I
gonna
think
shift.
so. Like I've heard stories about that. I think
Mm. Which is obviously that stadium is one of the oldest stadiums that you can get in
mm,
the world. And when growing up, you always just saw it. It's just so far away from you. Newlands and wow, and Western Province and Blue Bulls, and it was just always just there. But then my first game, Gershwin, I got selected to play against the Sharks. Our first Curry Cup under 19 game, a curtain raiser
yes,
for Natal Sharks and Lions in Durban. I went, put my, just before you run out, in the Shark Tank, there's in the changing rooms, big mirrors. I went,
yeah,
put my kit on, and I just looked at myself. I just couldn't believe it. I was
yeah.
just staring at myself from head to toe, thinking I played for Namibia Premier Week last year, and here I'm running
Now
out on
you're
a
here.
Friday night. Do you know what I mean? It was such a an amazing, just a moment where I just reflected, thinking, wow. I was thinking of my parents, I was thinking of my family, my brothers, everything that they've sacrificed. It just goes on and on. But I was going to ask you, what was
uh,
your moment? What was your moment when you reflected, having the jersey, maybe the night before or in the changing room? Did you also have a moment like that?
yeah, I would believe it was after I won the first final. After we won the first final, like just sitting there, thinking about everything that hard work does pay off. If you
Mm,
just keep working, it will eventually pay off. So,
mm,
like
mm.
that was my moment, just reflecting on everything that's happened through the year, what I've learned and all that. So that was my moment after the final.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And second season, just to touch now, fast forward a bit. New challenges. Look what's going on in the world. Coronavirus,
Yeah,
everything to a standstill.
there was
Wow,
a
how
lot of
what
challenges
was
in
that?
this week.
What was going on in your environment? Like when everything just had to come to a standstill. How did you deal with it?
Yeah, obviously, we didn't know that lockdown was gonna be that
Mm,
long. We all thought it was just gonna be the 21 days, but after, so I decided not to go home. But when lockdown got extended, all the borders were closed, so it was difficult for me to go home. So I had to stay here in South Africa, for the whole 4 months. You know, but it got to you mentally as well. Not knowing if there was going to be a season, a rugby season as well.
mm,
You had to
mm.
train everything, not knowing if something is going to happen.
Yes.
So and you had all these plans for the year, and now everything just came to a stop. So it was quite difficult mentally, but
Mm, mm, mm.
I just kept pushing through.
So how did you individually, how did you keep yourself busy? Did you do any workouts at home or did you get a program? What did the Bulls do with
Yeah,
you guys?
we got a program we had to do, a running program and then body weight program. We all the gyms were closed. I didn't have access to
Mm,
a gym, so they sent through a program that we had to do every day, and that's how I stayed in shape. If the moment
nice,
comes, so
nice,
if I had to return.
nice one. I bet when you come back to Namibia, it's just the condition. They'll be like, "Who's that? Is it possible?" They're completely different.
uh,
We used
uh,
to mess around like, where's the toilet over there? Toilet over there. You know what I mean? I know you're
uh,
not that type of guy, but I'm just messing. I'm just messing a bit. But
uh,
it's always good to be in good shape, man. What's your what's your take on strength and conditioning? Like how important is goal setting for you in that department and nutrition? And what do you feel you've learned in that department being with the Bulls?
I've always I've learned a lot. Like if you're a rugby player, your body is your temple. Like you can't do anything without it. Like it's basically you use your body to play rugby. So I've learned to take care of my
Mm,
body. Like nutrition is also very important because what you put into your body as well, like they can have an
mm.
effect on your performance. That's the thing I learned in the early stage as well. And the conditioning, yeah, like it's on another level. Like you train there 4 sessions a day. Like yeah, so it's on another level. But I enjoy it, man, but because it
Mm.
made me better as a rugby player. Like, and it just feels good to be in good condition, man.
Man, man, I'm so proud of when Gershon, I was watching the under 20, you know, now just after lockdown. I was watching you guys on YouTube live stream. And
Uh,
when it's kicked off again, the Bulls, you guys were playing. I was like, they're forwards, your forwards and backs, like the whole it's just on another level. I was like, no,
uh,
they're gonna retain this, it just looked simple, it looked easy, fluent, and very, very
yeah,
good to watch. Um, some exciting players, obviously, always. But from my group, not a lot of guys have transitioned over to senior rugby. Do you know what I mean?
uh,
And a very few end up carrying on. I've seen some really good
yeah,
players could have been Springboks, just not just not make it. Do you know what I mean? Not because they weren't good enough, but because of discipline.
because the
Discipline,
yeah,
self-discipline. Um, Man, they were in and out. Like I'm talking about just decision making, and that's one thing that I've always seen, um,
yeah,
especially at a younger age. But we all go through our own journey, our own path, and we learn differently. But I just wanted to say once again, I'm so proud to see, what you've done over in South Africa, playing at under 21 level for the Bulls. And you're an exciting young player, one to watch.
thank you.
I can only say I really hope that you keep looking after yourself, and just be that great example like what you are. You're away from
Uh,
home for a whole year, and you're thriving when it comes to it. But I'm also aware that mentally you're developing as well. You're constantly developing, and I bet you will have
yeah,
so much to offer. You've got so much to offer going forward. Um, I was
thank
going to
you.
ask you. I was going to ask you. What do you find difference wise? Being in Namibia, have you played any club rugby in Namibia at one stage?
No, not really. I
Not
haven't.
really. You've
Mhm.
obviously growing up. We know the clubs that's in Namibia. What do you
Yeah,
think standard wise? What could change in Namibia? What could they add to make things slightly better? I know they've got the Velvichas playing in the Curry Cup and the what
yeah.
was it? There's another competition that they were playing in as well before the Curry Cup. But they're getting that exposure, which is fantastic. But club level, what do you reckon? What's the difference between South Africa and Namibia?
Obviously, I think it will be for Namibia. It's difficult because like we don't always have the finance like
Mm,
to take care of the players as well. So if you play in Namibia, you have to work from 8 to 5 a job, and then you still have to go to training afterwards. Well, it's in here in South Africa. Like playing rugby is basically your job. You don't have
mm,
to go to a 9 to 5 job. Like just playing rugby, that's your job, and you get paid for it. So I think
mm,
financially they could make a big difference, and yeah, I think that's probably the only thing holding Namibia back from developing as well.
mm.
So I don't know how the finance and stuff look, but I think that's probably it.
Do you reckon? Because over here in the UK, obviously there's so much over in the UK. There's so many opportunities, right, for children. To keep developing, whether it's whatever sport. There's so
Yeah,
honestly, it's like I can only think if the opportunities, if the children in Namibia could have opportunities like over here.
yeah,
Every out of the 2.5 million people, every other person would be probably want to play sports because of the opportunities. But like you said, the financial side of things
the,
is not always easy. But I have to take my head off to everyone who's training and working, and trying to make a living, but also wanting to strive to play, say
yeah.
for instance, for Namibia. Do you have any, um, going forward? If I may ask you, what's your ambition? What's your thoughts? Your motto? Someone asked, "What's your motto in life?" And what's your ambition? Going forward. What would you like to do in further on, maybe for Namibia? You know, do you want to follow in your dad's footsteps, playing for Namibia, maybe at the World Cup? What's your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
obviously that's a goal to play for the Namibia in the World Cup 2023. That's the goal for now. See if I can make that squad. But
Hmm.
other than my motto in life, I think it's a quote I heard. I think Bruce Lee said it. Like
Hmm.
you have to be like you have to be like water. You know,
Mm, like that,
being
like.
able to being able to adapt to anything. You know, and
Mm,
just keep working hard. The opportunities will come. Always be ready for an opportunity. You don't know when
mm,
it's gonna come knocking at your door. So
That's brilliant.
yeah,
That
that's it.
that's the right attitude. A lot of times people turn around and say, "If only," do you know what I mean? If
Yeah,
only I
if
was just a
only.
little bit further. If only I was just ready. You don't know when that opportunity is going to come, and when it comes, it might not come again. Um,
Yeah,
so what's the next step for Gershwin?
yeah.
What
Talk
if I
about
may
my
ask?
career
What's
now,
your
career
next
wise.
step from now that the rugby's finished, career wise? Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go over to Joburg. I think next week, in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna start preseason there. I'm gonna play varsity. Try and play varsity next year. Focus on my
Awesome.
studies. It's actually one thing that I regret, but it's
Hmm.
not studying from the beginning.
Right.
I
Right.
had these 3 years to study. So
Uh-huh.
if I can give any advice to someone, like if you want to study, do it as soon as possible, and finish it.
Mm.
So I'm gonna focus on my studies now for next year as well, and see where things go from there.
Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, the varsity level now in South Africa is also so professional. Like I remember when I was at
Yeah,
Kovsie Shimla's, we, like I said to you yesterday, we only played intervarsities, and that was a big thing. But then
yeah,
I'm sitting here now and watching what's happened over the last couple of years. That it's so big, the exposure, like the level is also is
next level. Yeah,
ridiculous. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna watch out for you. You know what I mean? Like when you, I'm gonna keep my eye out, man. It's exciting, and I'm pretty sure
yeah.
you're
Thanks,
gonna
man.
you're gonna take it by storm. But also with the studying, I would like to say I wish you all the best with that. Studying wise, it's not always easy playing, doing what you want to do, and then study as well. So I completely
Yeah,
understand what you're saying. So if you if you I mean, you're talking about you in Pretoria, and now you're going to
yeah,
Johannesburg. So
yeah.
what's it like living in Pretoria? And then have you lived in Johannesburg before?
No, I haven't. I haven't. So it's gonna be a new challenge for me as well, new experiences. So, but
So
I'm looking
so
forward
check this
to
out. So check this out. You were born in Walvis Bay, right?
it.
Walvis Bay,
Yeah,
grew up in Ribble, and now you're talking about you're living in Pretoria, and then you're moving to Joburg. Like it's just having a glass of water. Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like
Like that's yeah.
that's not an easy thing to do.
That's It's not
Do
an
you
easy
know what I
thing,
mean?
but it's part of playing rugby. It can take you anywhere. You don't know where it's gonna take you next. So
Man, I can
when the
only see good
opportunity
things for
comes,
you, man.
it'll take it.
I can only see
Thanks,
good
man. I
things for you,
appreciate.
Gerswin, man. I'd just like to take another minute, a second, just to thank everyone for joining us this evening, and once again for your comments, positive comments, and questions. One or two people have been asking, and also people can like it, right? Like our video. For those of you, please share this if you haven't already, because some people might run into this video at a later stage. Maybe after this live, it will still be available, so people can always view it afterwards. And it does help with the watch time if you watch it all the way through. We would like to ask people out there to, I just wanted to say this again, make sure you like it, and also feel free to subscribe. It's free. If you subscribe on our platform, it's free. It helps us to keep doing what we're doing. I do feel Namibia's got loads and loads of talented young rugby players like Gershwin. He's been flying the Namibian flag over in South Africa and making some big noise. Two two winning medals, man. That's not an easy thing to do, and no one can take that away from you. That's the beauty
Yeah,
of it. You know what I mean? And like I said, keep subscribing. It's free. Everyone out there. Also, I was gonna ask Gershwin, if you going forward, I know you're playing 15s. I know you've had a bit of sevens experience. Do you see yourself maybe playing a little bit more sevens, or do you wanna just run with 15s? If the opportunity came with sevens, what would you do?
I would go with it if sevens opportunity came with sevens. Like I would definitely go for it as well. I just enjoy it. So wherever the opportunity comes from, I'll go for it.
You'll
So
go for it.
if it comes from 15 or from sevens, I'll go for it.
You go for it. Brilliant, brilliant.
Mm,
It's because opportunities nowadays, like we were saying, whatever it is, you just get ready, stay ready, be ready, type of
yeah,
attitude. So I take it that's what your mindset's like. Um, Someone is asking Rufus Book, am I right? Saying if you didn't play professional rugby, what would you do? That's a good question. What would you if you never played really, if you kind of played rugby and then not really, what would you be doing?
I'll probably be studying now. I've always wanted to study law, so that's probably what I would have been doing if I didn't play
Study law,
rugby now.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
So that's
that's
I had a friend, someone I once knew in Free State who studied law while he was playing for Free State as well, under 19, under 21, and so on. He got to the point where he had to make a decision. Like where it got so intense, his studies, where
yeah,
it's either this way or that way. But I mean, great play. He played wing as well. He played wing as well, and he ended up obviously pursuing his
studies.
law, his studies. So, which worked out for him well. But I always say, Gershwin, it's all about the moment. It's all about where you are now, and what you do today. It will set you up tomorrow.
That's
And
true.
don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. If from my side, if I can say this, don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to fail because it's through fear that we limit ourselves.
Yeah,
Like I said to you yesterday, if I was only a little bit more patient, when I was in
yes,
South Africa, I think it would have been a lot more different. You know, a lot of times, but I wasn't always patient. Um, but now as a coach, I can see sometimes how impatient some players are, and I'm on them. I'm like, no, just try this, try
yeah,
that. A little bit, and at the end of the day, it works. If it doesn't work, at least we've tried it. But yeah, Gershwin, I'm absolutely excited for you, right? And
thank you.
we probably gonna start wrapping up. But before we do, is there anything that you would like to say to everyone back in Namibia?
No, just that I miss my family. I miss my friends.
You,
Yeah,
man.
it's just just keep working hard.
Mm.
You know, you never know when the opportunity will come. Like I said, just keep on working hard. That's the only thing. Hard work will pay off.
Hard work will pay off.
That's it.
That's well said. Hard
Yeah.
work pays off. What about Gershon? So you miss family, friends. What about Namibian Biltong? I
Yeah,
take it, the the Biltong, huh?
yeah, I miss that as well.
They should they should
uh,
send you a nice a nice
yeah,
parcel.
please, if
Yeah,
my parents are hearing this, please send me some.
no pressure, no pressure, right?
No pressure.
Sure, no, the
Uh,
biltong. I'm sitting obviously where I'm at. There's a lot of South Africans, and you can buy biltong and drovers and stuff, but it's not the same. It
it's not the
looks the
same,
same, but it's not the
and
same.
it's not the same.
The brain is trying to
Uh,
register. It's not the same. Not the same. But
uh,
yeah, maybe further down the line, if you are available again, maybe when everything starts calming down and things open up and you playing varsity cup, maybe we could do this again if you are
huh?
available and to tell us what your experiences are, playing in the varsity cup, and if you also, man, if you, like I said, the footage, right? I need to say this again, guys. Everyone who's watching this, make sure you share his highlights. This guy is class, okay? He is an absolute phenomenal athlete. And I'm not just saying that, you can see it for yourself. Like I said, your aerial skills, your explosiveness off the mark, the one where you caught the ball and you just went around the wing, that's not easy. You made that look really easy. And that's great
Thank you.
confidence that you're showing there as well. So keep working on it and keep believing, my man. I think you are great, and you're
Thank
doing
you.
everyone proud. And I would like to say thank you so much agreeing to come on our platform and to tell us you're good. All right. Keep
Yeah, I'm
well.
good. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.